So we have 10 seconds to go now. You'll see the 6 lights coming on your screen. Robbie is on pole position on the right-hand side, and the lights are out, and we are off and racing. Robbie gets a great start. A lead there. Ricardo's in second. George stays in third. Are we clean? We're clean, and we haven't run wide either. There's some contact towards the back, some door panel, but everyone seems to escape so far. Coming up to the turn 2, big braking zone. This is where we mentioned there's a nice lunge up the inside there from Damien. I think he gets away with it, doesn't lose too much time. Oh, there's a bit of carnage at the back there. I think lots of contact coming up on the graph here. And this is the long straight that I was mentioning coming up. So there's already a gap where there's been carnage. We can see some door banging already. And then coming up into the big braking zone here. So Hubert is unfortunately had a collision at turn 2 and is at the back of the grid. Everyone's keeping it nice and clean, braking early. Almost looked like there was some contact there. Looks like Damien got nudged and is off wide. There's a few people running wide. Luke Weston, I think, span at the background there as you see him tumbling down the order as well. And here, here's poor Hubert, who unfortunately had a big crash at turn 2 there. Hopefully he hasn't got too much damage. And here we are. So George here's in position. Robbie's gone. He's got a nice 1 second gap already. I imagine he'll manage that, and I think we'll probably see him shooting off. The longer Ricardo and George battle. We have 2 teammates there as well, side by side, going into this right-hander. Again, this is a very deceiving corner. You could easily run wide, and there's little room. As you can see, the gravel on the outside, so that will really drag you in. On board with George now is he's behind Ricardo. He needs to. There isn't really an overtaking position here. He needs to make sure that he can stay as close as possible without losing time and give him an opportunity to turn 2 and 3, as it looks like he was just running wide there as we cut away. So on board now with Luke. We saw him spin coming out of turn 2. Oh, there's a car on the grid there still. So on board with Jacob here. As you can see, there's people can take a big chunk of the inside curb there, which really can give you a good run through. On board with Reza as he makes up a lunge here. Can he keep it? Very nice, clean move. But it gives Luke the opportunity now, because he took the normal racing line, to then use the straight line speed and the exit all the way through here and to try and keep it up the inside for turn 3. Robbie's gap is staying around the same. It's just dropped to under a second. It's 8/10. There's a gap now between Ricardo and George as well of around half a second. So Ricardo's really putting the pressure on Robbie. Actually, he's reduced the gap to less than half a second now. So I don't know if Robbie may have run wide there, or if he's just managing the pace. He's an experienced racer here, so he knows what to do. You don't get too much tyre wear in these cars, but with the heavy fuel, they're definitely going to be different animals to what they were previously. On board with Marcel in 13th, he's dropped down from his qualifying position, so he would have had an incident further back. There's a nice battle here throughout the field. 10th, 11th, 12th are all within half a second of each other. So Robbie has kept the gap to 6/10 of a second now. Ricardo is managing to peg him. He's dropped George from 3rd. Alex as well is another second behind. So the gaps are starting to open up now. There's still a little bit of a bundling sort of towards the back of the grid. Our driver of choice is Rezi is up to 11th, so that's a great start for him. Although, as we say that, he's just dropped down to 12th, so he's having a great battle there with Luke. We saw them tussling the last corner, and this is why it's key to get a good run out here. They're battling away, and they're allowing Marcel to join them as well, and they're going to slowly fall away from 10th position. So you really need to pick and choose your battles as to how to run early on. Whether you as Mick Sutton runs wide there, and that opens up the door to Ian. Is he doesn't quite have there's loads of cars running wide. That's Luke again involved. You can run wide and get a bit of a cutback, so you don't lose too much time as long as you keep it on the tarmac. If you run too wide and go on onto the outskirts. That's where you lose time. This is a great battle here between Luke, Marcelo and Rezi as Luke goes for the lunge. Oh, and it looks like, and I don't know if that was contact or if he spun himself, but Rezi and Marcelo all had Marcelo ran wide, and Luke, I think, and Rezi were caught up in that. It's allowed Luke to break clear now, so hopefully he can start making some positions and get back to where he started. Damien Hall's also recovering. He qualified 4th originally. He's closing down on 11th, and Marcelo has also managed to sort of recover. Robbie Stapleford sets the fastest lap of a 1:49.7, just a few tenths off his pole position time. Which is a fantastic effort given that he's full of fuel. He's still got over 14 minutes to go, plus 1 lap. So that's an incredible time. It shows you that he's able to manage everything. He's still opening up a gap again to Ricardo. That's fluctuates between a second to half a second. So he's clearly not phased when that gap comes down. He knows what he's doing. And I think as long as he can keep it on the tarmac, I think he'll be fine there. The gap has opened up from 2nd to 3rd and 3rd to 4th as well. Nearly 2 seconds between the two of them here. We can see that the cars hit over 150 miles an hour on the speed trap even before the end of the corner. So it shows you that these are very, very powerful machines, and having to brake at the 150 board shows you that the brakes aren't very good and the tyres aren't as great as other cars that you can drive on these games. So it's a fantastic start to the race. I'm sure Robbie will be very, very happy. Ricardo as well. He's kept it clean. And as we see here, the leaders, we can see the top 3, top 4, all sort of within it, camera shot there. So they'll be happy and content with that. There's lots of cut tracking going on here. Warnings are being given on track limits, and there's a few drivers that are 1 cut away from having drive-through penalties. So I'll try and keep you posted on if anyone gets a penalty and has to do a drive-through. So back on board, we Mick's having a great race here. He's managed to get himself ahead of Ian. He qualified 9th, I believe. He's having a good race. Runs a little bit wide there, has to recover it. You don't lose too much time there, as Ian also runs wide on the following corner. On board with Damien here. He's I'm sure he'll be very frustrated with what happened. We saw him spin around. He's got a good run here on Luke, so I'm sure he'll keep it close here. Maybe go in for turn 2, or keep it nice and tidy and get a good run out for turn 3. Robbie's gap opens up again to a 2nd. The gap is coming down slightly from 2nd to 3rd. It's now 1.5 seconds as Damien does take a look up the inside. As you can see, Luke gave him all the room, and in that mirror you can see that he's cut back and he should be very close, if not alongside him. And this is the advantage of effectively sacrificing this corner to get the run. He's got the inside, but he's just behind. These cars do have quite a good slipstream effect, but I think Luke went back into the strip a little bit too late there. But Damien has gone defensive, which could make him run wide, which it has. Has he got enough? Luke, no. But Marcelo is also catching up and is now on the back of Luke. So Luke is the conundrum of, does he attack or does he defend? And I'm sure Damien, and you can already see how much time he's lost to Damien in just one corner. Looks like Marcelo might be up the inside here. It's a big lunge. Can he get it stopped? Oh no, he take a clump of the curve on the inside there. That will upset the car and run him out of traction. Although Luke does seem to get a bit of a wiggle on there as well. So they're now side by side, and Marcelo does make the move on Luke. Mick Sutton has also got past Ian. So it's a great race there that they're having. You can see there's a bit of a gap opened up here between the top 6. The gap to Mick in 7th, 5.8 seconds off the leader. So he's keeping himself about the Rashi is in the pits. Hubert has a drive-through penalty. Rezi is in the pits. I think it looks like that might be a retirement for Rezi there, as well as a drive-through penalty for Hubert for cutting the track limit. So as if Rezi is going to retire, he will start 15th. If they don't, you don't take advantage of reverse grid pole there. Mick and Ian are still having a battle for 7th and 8th. The longer they the more they battle, the more Mick is losing time off the leaders. Robbie has really opened up a lead here. It's 1.6, it's flickering between 1.6 to 1.9 seconds there. As we're on board with Luke, and Marcelo has got past Luke. And we're on board with Hubert here as he takes his drive-through penalty. You can see just on the right-hand side there that Reshi has retired from this race. Hopefully he can make it back through for race 2. Luke is back past. Oh, there's that was at turn 3, I think. There, Luke got past Marcelo very briefly there, but he's got him back, and he's also lost a bit of time coming out of there. You can run deep into turn 3 and still gain some time. It's a sort of a choice that the drivers make. As Mick runs wide there, that's going to lose him a lot of time. As Ian goes for the lunge up the inside, is he going to make it? That's very close. I don't think he was quite far enough alongside, but Mick's given him room and he's been able to take it. Fantastic. Here's Jacob here. He really wants to try and catch up with Mick now. He wants to get that gap closed. The gap from 6th to 7th is now 7 seconds and growing. Ricardo has fallen off Robbie a little bit more now. It's 1.8 seconds. The gap to 3rd George is still 1.8 seconds as well. So the top 3 are almost in a league of their own, and I can't, unless they make a mistake, I would imagine that halfway through the race that's the way it's going to settle. Alex is in it on his own as well. But it's very, very close racing in the middle of the pack here. Damien makes his way up to 9th. He glides up the inside, but Jacob again has got a good run out here. Can he take advantage of it with the slipstream? Damien's having a fantastic recovery drive here. He definitely has the pace to be up the front. And I would expect him at this rate to probably be able to catch Mick and maybe Ian, but I think that's probably where his progress will stop. So that's a great recovery drive. Again, he's gone defensive, but he can get it stopped, which is fantastic. A lot of drivers you'll easily see will lock the wheel up there and just go too deep and lose time, but Damien's really able to stamp on the brakes. But Jacob has got a good run on him here. Is he close enough to make a lunge? I don't think he is. I think he's going to back out of it and just keep it close. And the rest of the lap here, it's difficult to try and overtake. You've got the left-hander coming into the stadium section where we saw Ian pass Mick. So there's horrible rumble strips on the outside there that can really upset the car and lose your time. But Jacob is really, really keeping on the back of Damien here. He's not close enough to take a lunge up the inside here on the right-hand side, so he's going to have to keep it tidy, make sure that he stays in touch with Damien. So as Damien does run wide there, he does get he makes it even closer, but these next 2 right-handers aren't really overtaking corners. It's not till turn 2 where you'll be able to really make a move on him, so he just needs to keep it tidy, keep it nice and smooth. Don't get too excited too early on, and then he should be able to make a move up into turn 2. This is the right-hander that is very deceptive. You really want to take so much of that inside curb, but you can't. And then he has got it's very similar. I don't think he's quite close enough just yet. It would make sense if he sort of holds station. He does, brakes nice and early, tries to get the proper cut back through the corner, get on the power early and use that. And you can see it slowly with the slipstream. He'll be able to reel Damien in, although he's coming out of the slipstream. He needs to stay, he's tucking behind. He's still got a little bit of a run actually here. Damien may be suffering with a bit of damage from his earlier problems, which may be making him slower. Jacob's about 151 on the straight, but where is he? Oh, Jacob runs wide anyway. Damien keeps the inside of the corner fantastically tight. There's no way you're going to be able to really give him the cut back. Luke and Marcelo are still racing together, although slightly lower down the grid than they were previously. It's fantastic how close these cars are. Jacob is still on the back of Damien as well. As you can see, the car's wriggling there. These cars do have traction control, but it is faster without it, and you can really see as soon as the power goes down, these cars do get a wriggle on and can easily spin. Mick and Ian are still neck and neck as well, so there's some fantastic battles further down the grid. Robbie Stapleford has checked out. 2.6 seconds. Goodbye. Thank you very much. That's maximum points all round. Fastest lap is with Robbie as well. He's the only driver in the 49s, although Ricardo has done a 150 dead, so very, very close. So I just seeing that. So it looks like Reza's been disqualified for a jump start, which seems to be more of a technical problem, unfortunately. So he will be able to take part in race 2, which is such a shame for Reza there. He was having a really good battle, so we'll have to make him a driver, a focus from another race. Here comes Damien. As predicted, Damien is on the back of them, and he's taking Jacob with him. It's fantastic. Mick's got a good run here. Now what's he going to do? You can see Ian's in the middle of the race. He doesn't know whether to defend or take the racing line. If you defend, you lose time, but you also potentially lose the position if you do not. So, Mick with a fantastic lunge up the inside right at the last minute. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. Nice and clean, no wiggle on as he put the power down. That is fantastic, and definitely the overtake of the race so far. It's not over yet. Ian is still there, although he's slightly lost a little bit of time going through that right-hander. Although Mick is going for a lunge, let's hope he's not hit. He did. Contact's made there. He's run wide. Mick got power down as their contact again. I think they've both spun, which is such a shame. I think Ian. So we're on board with Damien. So Mick has spun. He's fallen down the order, but Ian seems to have got away with it. Jacob is running wide here. I'm not quite sure what's going on. He may have been given a position back, maybe, if he was called up or something, or maybe he's got a problem there. But he's going definitely slow. I'm not sure if he's trying to go for. I hope he's not trying to slow down and get a reverse grid pole position. I hope that's not the case there. So Luke's up to 10th position. Marcelo, he's still half a second within Marcelo, which is a great race. We're on board with Jeremy here. Jeremy's had quite a quiet race with Alex. He's slowly clawed him back in. He dropped down to about 1.5 seconds, and it's coming slowly. Alex has dropped back to third place, has got a 4 second, nearly a 5 second advantage to fourth. So the top 3 there are effectively confirmed. Jacob there has taken a drive-through penalty for track limits, so not quite sure why he ran wide there in the first place. But Luke and Marcelo are back again, fighting each other. Luke's got a great run here. He should be able to have enough to keep it up on the inside. It's whether he can get it stopped. You need to brake just after that 150 meter border. He does, nice and straight line. Can he get it stopped? Can he keep it so that Marcelo doesn't? Oh, and he gets the back end out, as I said before. That is the worst corner to put you put your foot down and the car's not settled. It does spit you out, and I think that's what happened to a couple of the racers in the opening lap there. So that's such a difficult, and proves how difficult these cars are. As Marcelo runs wide, you can see the big bumps that it takes. It's really difficult. We're on board with Jacob there. There was a spinner in the background. Who was that? That was Claudius, I think. He's run wide again. So he's currently in 13th position. Mick's down to 12th, unfortunately. Jacob, even though he's got the drive-through, has still still ahead of Mick. And Luke and Marcelo are once again still battling. Although it looks like it's a drive-through penalty for Marcelo as well with track limits. These boys do get warnings. They have 4 warnings, and the 5th time is a drive-through penalty. So you really need to, early on in the race, look after yourself and make sure that you don't give yourself too many cuts too early on. Otherwise, there's very little room for error, especially if you're battling. It doesn't take much to lock up and to get a penalty there. So that's really a shame. They were having such a good race. And we're on board now with Jeremy in 5th. Can he get Alex with less than a minute to go? Plus 1 lap. Where's Robbie on the lap chart? Robbie, I think this might be coming up to the penultimate lap here. Don't think he's going to get across the line again before the time goes down. No, he isn't. So Robbie will be on the penultimate lap shortly. Jeremy's keeping tabs on him. Alex has dropped back to 5.5 seconds. So the run through is Robbie Stapleford still out front, still with the fastest lap of 1:49.5. Ricardo has improved lap time wise. He's into a 1:49.6. So he's taken 4 tenths off of his fastest lap. George has improved to 1:50.0 as well. These cars, because of the tyres not effectively wearing, with a few laps to go, they're almost running on race fuel. Qualifying fuel here, as Jacob once again runs wide, so he'll get another cut for that. So Robbie's on the final lap now. He's bossed this from the start. It will be really fascinating to follow his way through the field, as Jeremy and Alex are not quite finished yet. You can see Ricardo in the background there. He's really kept him as honest as he can. Robbie has that buffer where a mistake isn't quite enough to keep him safe. So it's great racing from the top 3 there. Fantastic, clean, competitive racing. As Jeremy, has he got a run up now on the inside of Alex? It's going to be close. He's going to go on the outside and try and cut back, but is he going to outbrake himself? No, he doesn't. Is he going to be able to get it? Does he? Yes, he can. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there. Is that going to be enough? Alex think might just be okay. This left-hander isn't really great, but he can keep it side by side, but then he'll be on the outside. I think Alex has given too much, but he's side by side as they come into the braking. No, he moved on the braking there, but I think it's okay. Can Jeremy get the cut back again? Just about, but I don't think he's going to have enough here. Oh, there's a little bit of a contact there, I think, or a little bit of a wiggle from Jeremy. As he's only got one real opportunity left. So after this right-hander, we're coming into the stadium section. And Robbie Stapleford is coming around to the last stadium section here. He's only got 2 more corners to go, 1 more corner to go. As long as he doesn't cut the track now, I think he's good. And Robbie Stapleford crosses the line, takes the win on the inaugural M2 Championship. A fantastic drive. Ricardo Spratt comes home in 2nd. George in 3rd. Fantastic top 3. We'll hear from 2 of the 3 as it's not quite over yet. Oh, fantastic racing right till the end there, and that will carry on through to race 2. So Alex finishes 4th, Jeremy Gonzalez in 5th, Maximilian in 6th, Damien Hall, a great recovery drive as he comes back to 7th, puts him in a good position for race 2 there. Ian comes home in 8th. Luke Weston on his own after a great battle with Marcelo, who did drop down to 12th in the end. Mick Sutton unfortunately had a bit of contact there which spun him around, but a top 10 finish nonetheless is a great result for Mick. Jacob comes through in 11th after serving a drive-through. Marcelo in 12th position. As we'll watch the final Marcelo go through. So we'll bring in our race winner to start with. So Robbie, fantastic drive. You kept it clean. You sort of had an early lead. It was sort of boomeranging between half a second to a second in the early stages, and then you slowly opened it up throughout the rest of the race. So how did that feel?
Yeah, really good. Got a good start, and then just got a second in the first couple of laps, and then just maintained the gap through the race. And then I just started to pull away through the middle of the race, and then Ricardo started to pull it back towards the end, and then I just maintained the gap and brought it home. So yeah, it was good.
Fantastic. And how was the car throughout? Was there any tyre wear at all throughout towards the end of the race? Your Ricardo's times were improving, as was yours. So I presume as the fuel levels went down, that helped.
Yeah, the tyres didn't really go off. It was just when the fuel started to come down, the time started to come down. So yeah, looking forward to this reverse grid, seeing how everybody races, and it should be good.
Yeah, there were some very good battles throughout the field, some very, very good racing. What are your chances? What do you think you can do? Or what would you like to do at least?
Probably get another podium, but we'll see how it is. Don't know how everybody races yet, so that'll be the main goal, just to see how everybody races against each other and see how far I can get up.
Yeah, that's the problem with the new series, is you are still learning and you are still getting used to each other to how to drive. So I suppose it's just keeping your nose clean and hoping for the best, and you could probably make up a few positions relatively easily just through some crashes.
Yeah, hopefully there's no incidents, but anything could happen. It's racing, so hopefully none of the incidents were with me, but we'll soon find out.
Yeah, you got fastest lap there as well. So far you're on maximum points for the championship. So it's a brilliant start for you so far.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Robbie. Now we'll bring in we've got our second place driver here, Ricardo. Fantastic race. You were close to Robbie at the start. You were sort of keeping him within a second or so, but as the race went on, you sort of slowly fell back. How was the race from your perspective?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, the race was good actually. The start, Robbie kind of shot off a bit. Then I saw his lap time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be chasing here." Thought I was sort of coming back to him. Then he got away again, and then towards the end, I found my most consistent point. But yeah, it was far too late to mount a challenge. Great drive from Robbie.
What's your plan for race 2?
Race 2, actually, to be fair, I'm really looking forward to see in how Robbie does. It's going to be rather exciting with me and him sat at the back, and hopefully with a little bit of fighting all the way through the field. So we'll see what we can do.
I suppose you want to try and gap him as early as you can, and you towards the end of the lap, I think you were about a tenth off his fastest lap, so you had the pace towards the end there as the fuel came down. So if you can gap him early, I think that will help you.
Absolutely, yeah. I did, like I said, I was finding my consistent point towards the end, got the lap time in, and I thought, okay, I can try and get the bonus point. But yeah, sadly, a couple of little mistakes towards the very end, and that kind of put that one to the bin.
Perfect. So, any expectations at all? Are you aiming for another podium or top 10, or what do you think?
I think got to be realistic. I would like a podium, obviously. But being realistic, if I can get top 10, top 8, I would be extremely happy with that.
Brilliant. Good luck for the second race. Thanks, Ricardo.
Thank you.